What's goody, theorists? Let's take it back to 2001. Velour suits were still in heavy rotation, two-way pagers were peak communication, and every R&B dude had a fitted cap and a falsetto. It was a time when male artists really leaned into vulnerability, seduction, and yes, a little drama. Today we're counting down the top 10 R&B singles of 2001 by male artists. From certified bedroom anthems to dance floor cuts, these joints had the radio on lock and the block singing along. Same rules apply. We're going off of when the album dropped, not when the video hit 106 in Park or when the single finally got radio play, just to keep it clean. If you're feeling this kind of content, hit that thumbs up, sub if you haven't, and don't be stingy with the comments. Tell us your picks and what we might have missed. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. Number 10, Maybe I Deserve, Tank, Force of Nature. We begin our list with the genre's current flag bearer, R&B Money label co-founder and podcast host Tank. Before he found his own label and podcast even existed, Darrell Babb started his career doing background for Aaliyah and Genuine, eventually joining Baby Girl at Blackground in 1998, while G was on 550 Music. With 3 years of further development, in 2001, Tank released the lead single, Maybe I Deserve, from his debut album, Force of Nature. The song centers on Tank's seemingly hypothetical but very real paranoia and insecurity based on his own past bad behavior in the relationship. The video features a plain white background in which a bare-chested Tank delivers a straight-to-camera and high-angle performances of the song's lyrics. It also shows each member of the couple cheating on the other and the prominent emotional disconnects despite their physical encounters. Not exactly the musical action hero he was in the video for the second single, Slowly, but we digress. Written and produced by Tank, Maybe I Deserve slid into the top 40, peaking at number 38, and is still his highest performing single on the Billboard Hot 100. And that was good enough to debut at number 7 on the Billboard 200. The 97,000 in first week sales also pushed Force of Nature to number 1 on the top R&B and hip hop albums chart. Number 9, Love of My Life, Brian McKnight, Superhero. Upon a recent review of the video for this song, it's hard to tell whether this is a traditional ballad or a subtle serenade to his offspring, and that had us all the way thrown off. So you watch the video and comment your thoughts. For now, we'll forge ahead with the traditional read on it, as by now, it has been part of the soundtrack for countless weddings, anniversaries, and vow renewals. Love of My Life's beautiful lyrics are equally yoked with McKnight's flawless and criminally underrated falsetto delivery. The object of his affection has no need to question where he stands on his commitment and loyalty. Hoping to capitalize on his first outing with them, the triple platinum Back at One, Motown Records released McKnight's second album with them, his 6th album overall, with high expectations. Lead single Love of My Life did its part to capture the audience's attention and help Superhero sell more than 150,000 units its first week and a number 7 debut. The single just missed the top half of the Billboard 100 and top 10 of the R&B hip hop song chart, peaking at number 51 and 11 respectively. This didn't stop the Academy from taking notice. Love of My Life was nominated for 2 Grammys, Best R&B Vocal Performance and Best R&B Song. Number 8, Just In Case, Jaheim, Ghetto Love. What Brian McKnight did to let people know that R&B was still smooth, Jaheim did to let folks know that R&B was also for the streets. Jaheim is the grandson of 60s soul singer Hoagie Land and was signed to Divine Mill Records by Naughty by Nature's KG in 2000. Jaheim's brand of R&B label Ghetto Love, as was titled his debut album, was still relatable whether you found yourself on the block, in the boardroom, or somewhere in between. Just In Case is an R&B thug's anthem. Its lyrics are a request for his wifey to cherish their time and experiences together in case the day comes he doesn't walk back through the door. The track was written by label mate RL from the group Next, produced by label head KG and Eddie Berkeley. And RL was making his rounds in 2K1. He had credits on Usher's 8701, Luther Vandross's self-titled project, and Coffee Brown's Mars Venus LP. It was Jaheim's silky vocals with a gritty persona that brought this one to life though, and even more so in the video featuring In the House star Maia Campbell. She plays Jaheim's love interest who tries to get him to stay home one morning to no avail. The video plays up the lyrics and plays out how you'd expect, but it is worth a watch if you haven't seen it in a minute. The song charted at number 15 on the R&B chart, 52 on the Billboard Hot 100, and reached number 34 in the UK. Number 7, Take You Out, Luther Vandross, Luther Vandross. One of them ones off his best showing in 10 years, Luther Vandross's Take You Out is as smooth as he's ever been. None of the raunch of contemporary ballads, Mr. Vandross just wants to know if a brother can get a date. His first project with Clive Davis's newly formed J Records came 3 years after his one-and-done tenure with Virgin, probably because they put our guy in a hoodie on the album cover. Vandross already had decades in the game when he decided to release his self-titled project. It wasn't so much a reinvention as a reintroduction. Vandross worked with some of his camp's mainstays like Nat Adderley Jr. and Marcus Miller. But for the lead single, Take You Out, Warren Campbell pulled double duty on the pen and production, along with co-writers Harold Lilly and John Smith, to bring this classical crooner into the new millennium in style. The lyrics are the gentlest way to express interest in someone who's caught your attention. The video employs a beach backdrop and features Jamie Foxx show actress turned Real Housewife Garcelle Beauvais as Luther's love interest. She goes from running on the beach to serving drinks to Luther, John Sally, and friends when Luther leaves his number and an invitation where the tip should go. She accepts, and the glow-up commences. By the end, Fancy is the lady of the house. Take You Out is a G-rated jam that further solidified Luther's OG status, and the G is for gentlemen. Number 6, Peaches and Cream, 112, Part 3. From a gentleman to bad boys, records that is, 112 was signed to the label after auditioning in the Atlanta club that gave them their name for the final boss, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, and getting the co-sign from Chucky Thomas and First Lady Faith Evans. 5 years and 2 albums deep in the game, the guys had a little more creative control, but pretty much used the same formula for their third album, Part 3. And that's not a bad thing. Their debut, self-titled project went double platinum, and the sophomore record, Room 112, matched the mark in 2002. There were also gold and platinum singles along the way. But with all the tumult surrounding the Diddy trial, the other one, the one with the gun charges that would send Shine to jail for 10 years, 112 fled the distractions of New York and set up shop in Nashville to record Part 3. 16 tracks of solid turn-of-the-millennium R&B. The album peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200. The lead single, It's Over Now, went number 1 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart, priming the pump for Peaches and Cream to snag their first and only Grammy nomination for Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocal. True, they were part of the win for I'll Be Missing You, but this one was for the fellas, and the song was for the ladies. Written by Mario Winans, Puff, and the group members, and production handled by the first two, Peaches and Cream is a salute to the quartet's home state and a little bop about, well, you know what it's about. It features solos from 3 of the 4 bandmates. Slim and Q split the lead vocals, and Mike comes through with a solid rap in his baritone voice. But Deron got down in that Director X Helm video. Check that 2:48 mark. He also has half of the production credits on Part 3. This second single did what it needed to do, because Peaches and Cream reached number 4 on the Hot 100 and rode the top 40 for 25 weeks. It's still their highest charting song as lead artist, and will still get the skate party popping. Remember those albums that changed everything? The ones you played on repeat? The soundtracks of your story. Now, they're not just memories, they're wearable. 8 classic albums pressed into every hoodie and tee. For the ones who grew up on that real hip-hop, and the ones who are still catching up, this is more than merch, it's a tribute. Wear what raised you. Available now at shop.culturalisttheory.com. Number 5, What Would You Do? City High, City High. Perhaps a pick that we're gonna let slide under the radar for a 2001 single. It originally appeared on the soundtrack for the Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence classic comedy film Life that came out in 1999. However, the version that hit airwaves in 2001 and serves as City High's debut song doesn't include the sample of Dre and Snoop's The Next Episode. And the 2-to-1 ratio guys to girls gets them on the list instead of the ladies list that's already up. The high school classmates took inspiration from country music when they decided they wanted to use their lyrics to tell stories. What Would You Do does exactly that. Exploring the life of a single mother dealing with her financial pressures with prostitution. With an unflinching look at urban life, the social commentary was front and center and far from the luxury lyrics pervasive at the time. Instead of retreating into escapism, City High's realism was confrontational, even if a little preachy, but with a palatable delivery. While looking back, it may make you do a double take that this was played on the radio and had a video. At least we're a step away from Reba McEntire's Fancy, where the mom pimps out the daughter to support the family. Don't think we've ever seen that story in hip-hop. But in true trio fashion, think Lucy Pearl and the Fugees, City High had a hard time sticking together. They were one and done following the run of the album. So, what would you do if you had been on top of the world and your group breaks up? Well, following their time together, Claudette, who started out dating Robbie, ended up marrying and having 2 kids with Ryan. They eventually divorced. Claudette's career had a few spurts, including 2 Wrongs with Wyclef, and later a stint on R&B Divas, acting gigs in Tyler Perry plays, and a single or 2. Robbie, who had battled addiction since his younger days, which also contributed to the band's downfall, got help via A&E's Intervention series, even toured with Lil' Kim, then wound up putting up a GoFundMe when his recording equipment was allegedly stolen in 2015. Ryan's career continued as he worked on songs for Usher, Justin Bieber, and even got credits on the series Empire. Number 4, Where the Party At, Jagged Edge, Jagged Little Thrill. Jermaine Dupri had to know he had something special on his hands when urged by Escape member turned mogul Candy Burris to sign Brian and Brandon Casey, Richard Wingo, and Kyle Norman in 1995. By 2001, the Casey brothers, along with JD and Brian Michael Cox, had already penned plenty of jams. I Gotta Be from a Jagged Era, so hot they had 2 videos for it, one featuring the OG Destiny's Child lineup, Let's Get Married, He Can't Love You, and Promise, 3 well-written, even some chart-topping ballads from J.E. Heartbreak. And we already know what that Let's Get Married remix featuring Run from Run DMC did. So it's no surprise that the Ballad Boys had another trick up their sleeves. Between featuring on Lil Bow Wow's Puppy Love and the Heartbreak Ready Goodbye, Jagged Edge released Where the Party At featuring St. Louis representative Nelly. This was the lead single from their 3rd project with So So Def, Jagged Little Thrill, and they came out swinging. JD was on the boards, and the aforementioned Usual Suspects handled the lyrics. Nelly's verse was an exclamation on the song, and his presence on the chorus gives it an extra bounce. They were calling everybody to the dance floor, and we do mean everybody. The multiracial, cross-generational pool party was a whole vibe in the video. But let's start at the beginning. We don't want to skip over the fact that the guys parachuted onto the beach. Cause why? Because why not? Then the pure 2001 wardrobe, baggy clothes, fresh Air Force Ones, backwards jerseys, bandanas. Then there's the random, way ahead of its time technology. Check out the smartwatches before there were smartwatches. Anything in pursuit of the party. And they partied all the way to the top, spending 3 weeks at number 1 on the R&B charts and 5 weeks at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their highest performing single. Where the Party At also scored J.E. their one and only Grammy nomination. Number 3, Contagious, the Isley Brothers, Eternal. Recording since the 1950s, with a total of 33 studio albums and 111 singles in their 6+ decades-long career, R. Kelly single-handedly brought the Isley Brothers into the new millennium, being the sole writer and producer of Contagious. There were other collaborators who helped the Eternal LP to a platinum plaque, including Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Raphael Sadiq, and Angela Winbush, who was married to Ronald at the time. But it was the I Believe I Can Fly singer who reintroduced Isley Brother frontman Ron Isley Jr. as Mr. Biggs on the R's self-titled sophomore project single Down Low, Nobody Has to Know in 1995. That gave the Isleys their first top 40 pop record since 1980's Don't Say Goodnight. That resuscitated the Isleys for a whole new generation. And the Isleys capitalized off that momentum to release 1996's Mission to Please, with platinum results. So with their first single in 5 years, continuing the saga set in motion by Down Low, they were sure to have a smash. The drama of it all carries the day. Mr. Biggs once again finds himself cuckolded by his dame of choice, played beautifully by Shantae Moore. Her 5-octave range and whistle register go unutilized on this track, but she delivered a stellar performance nonetheless. Biggs walks in to find that his woman has invited another man into her bed, and her lover is none other than the Pied Piper. The video does an excellent job of playing out this novella according to the lyrics, and it makes for a very entertaining watch, especially on the breakdown when all 3 vocalists are explaining their side of the story. When Ron, we mean Frank, has heard enough, he calls for security, but not one to get caught slipping twice. Kell's crew comes in so that the couple can make their escape unscathed. Contagious is a fun song for all the theatrics and the signature songs for the remaining Isleys on the senior circuit. Number 2, Differences, Genuine, The Life. With his debut single Pony, Genuine was off to the races. A #1 single on a double platinum album out the gate. The 5 years between The Bachelor and The Life had indeed made a world of difference. He had been around the world with The Bachelor and 100% Genuine, records largely produced by Timbaland. By the time we arrived at his 3rd album, his relationship with Timbaland had fractured, leaving room for new collaborators. He had lost both his parents within a year of one another, and he was settling into a married life with rapper Soleil. His emotional state is evident through his vocal delivery when he recorded 2 Reasons I Cry in memory of his parents and a celebration of his better half on Differences. One of the 4 singles dropped to support The Life, Differences captured Genuine's 2nd #1 single on the Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart and reached gold status. Sandwiched in between There It Is and Just Because, Differences stamped Genuine's ticket to immortality via the wedding and anniversary playlist. If you make it there, you'll never go broke. Troy Oliver, who you may know from J-Lo's Jenny from the Block and I'm Real, co-wrote and produced this track. The lyrics illuminate that special somebody can change your life. For the visual, G sits alone in the house contemplating his life, then transcends himself on Hype Williams' CGI sky. On the 2nd verse, he walks and dances along in the desert towards the oasis that is the love of his life. They also transcend to a heaven-like scape while Genuine serenades the object of his affection. It's one of those videos that sticks out for its use of technology. Not the fisheye lens that helped make Hype famous, but his eye and guidance of a video is undeniable. If y'all want to see rankings on music video directors, let us know in the comments. For Genuine, Differences came at a pivotal time in his life where he could have chosen to let circumstances sink him, and instead he chose to soar. Number 1, You Don't Have to Call, Usher 8701. In the case of Usher's mistaken lyrics, and just to clarify, it's Cruising the Streets, not Who's in the Streets. Come on, Ush. At the top of You Don't Have to Call, Usher borrows a line from Notorious B.I.G.'s One More Chance. So if you thought that Usher was saying, "That's my nigga for real," you thought wrong. He's giving the drummer some by shouting out Pharrell Williams, half of the Neptunes duo producing the track. Pharrell, who also wrote You Don't Have to Call for Usher's 8701 project. Okay, enough with the lyrics. In 2001, Usher was commemorating his time in the game to that point with an album featuring production from some heavy hitters. The aforementioned Neptunes, who were unstoppable in 01, Jermaine Dupri and Babyface with undeniable track records, and more. This was Usher's 3rd album. Originally titled All About You, until Napster leaks prevented this one from hitting its October 2000 release date. So now with fresh tracks, Usher was armed and ready. The first 2 singles, You Remind Me and You Got It Bad, went #1 and set up a sincere storyline through beautiful turn-of-the-century R&B. Then enter You Don't Have to Call, with a more hip-hop leaning 3rd single that said we're not gonna be lovelorn too long. We're gonna have a good time. You Don't Have to Call peaked at number 3 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart and won Usher his 2nd consecutive Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. The music video opens with Usher lying in bed with Chili before realizing it's a dream. Residuals left from part 1 of this 2-part story. Puff is on a video phone machine that apparently also controls the house lights, telling our boy to get over it and come outside. Usher pops into action in a 2001 version of a Get Ready With Me video and is on his way to the club. Whether in the Escalade, the parking garage, or in the middle of the club, the choreography is another star of the show. And when it was all said and done, on the tail end of You Got It Bad, Canadian music director Little X, now known as Director X, was running up the bag. He was able to direct these 2 Usher videos plus Diddy's I Need a Girl Part 1 back to back. No Diddy. So who had the best 3rd album of 2001? Usher, Genuine, 112, or Jagged Edge? Let us know in the comments. Each one had the culture in a chokehold that year. Tap the screen to check out the latest Who Held It Down as well. If you want to sponsor a video, hit our line. In the meantime, cop merch at shop.culturalisttheory.com, and for uncut combos and early drops, hit the Patreon. I'm QB, appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.